Hey guys, it's Kristen with Anime Collective. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over all the anime statues that I want to see from one of my favorite licensed studios, Figurama collectors. So this list is going to be split up by the anime series, and then I'm going to go into the battles and the characters that I would love to see statues of. Anywho, let's get into it. Here are all the anime statues I'd love to see Figurama recreate in statue form. So first up, guys, we're going to talk about Naruto, and I know this is no surprise to you guys because you know if you've seen my previous videos, I am a huge fan of Naruto and I love collecting the series. So Figurama already announced that they've obtained a license for Naruto, but they have yet to reveal which statue they'll be making from the series. Of course, I have my more obvious choices like Naruto versus Sasuke, Pain versus Naruto as well. I'd love to see those two in particular because they are pivotal moments within the anime. But what I really want to see a statue of the most is that fight that sees Naruto, Rock Lee, and Gaara fighting against Kimimaro. Now, since I have yet to see Figurama do a statue that's of more than two characters fighting against one another, I in particular would love to see Gaara and Kimimaro in particular. Why? Because I think they do Gaara's texturing and his sand really well. I also think they do Kimimaro justice with his abilities and all those bones sticking out of his body. Kimimaro is a badass character and he's really gnarly. His abilities are cool. He's one of my favorite characters from the entire series. Because of that, I really want to see Figurama do a statue of this one. I really feel like with all the detail they put into their statues that they could pull this one off. Another license I want to see more statues of from Figurama is Dora Doro. This is one of my favorite anime to come out in recent years, so when they announced it, I was super excited. The first statue they came out with was of Kaiman and Kaido, and in the words of Johnson, that's just simply shocking! But I want to see more Dora Doro statues. If anyone can pull off the grimy and gritty world of the whole, it is Figurama. Since they're already releasing a statue of Kaiman and Kaido, the next two I want to see a statue of is of Noi and Shin. They're two of my favorites to watch together, and I really love their relationship, and the way these two characters develop over the course of the series is amazing. I would also love to see an elite solo line statue, which are those more individualistic character-specific statues from Figurama. They announced at Figurama Festival of In with Kikurage, who is absolutely adorable. And if they were to add in, those mushroom detailings around him, I think it would look really incredible as a solo piece. Of course, there are more statues I'd love to see from Dora Doro, but those are just a few I'd love to see first. And up next, we have Hunter x Hunter, which is one of my top 5 anime of all time, so it's no surprise that I'm wanting to see more statues from the series from Figurama. And the top moment I want to see a statue of by Figurama is of Chrollo versus the Zoldyx. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've seen the anime or if you've read the manga. This is one of those holy shit moments that you just will never forget. So this is another statue that would have 3 characters fighting one another. I'm not sure that Figurama would ever do that, but it would really be really awesome if they did. Chrollo is one of my favorite characters from the series, and the Zoldyx always are crazy. They do their thing and then they peace out, and I'd love to see them all in that moment and come together in a statue form. I think it would look incredible. Also, Figurama, if you're watching, I'd love to see some of those elite solo line statues of one of my favorite villain groups of all time, the Phantom Troop, while you're at it. Another statue I'd love to see made from the series of Kiropika versus Ubogen. Kiropika is an absolute badass in this scene, and I would really love to see Figurama recreate his chains because I feel like they would make them out of die-cast metal. For now, these are the 2 scenes I want to see most, and I'm really hopeful that we'll at least get one of the 2. Figurama also recently obtained a license for Blom from Satomo Nihei. Guys, Satomo Nihei is one of my favorites. I love his artwork, his architecture, his character designs, and they really lend themselves well to statues, although they are really hard to recreate. Now, they did release that elite solo line statue of Killy, which I absolutely loved. All of that detail in his outfit was incredible. The only thing I'm really wishing for, though, is a more dynamic, larger scale piece, a diorama scene from Figurama. After seeing that Blom statue, I'd love to see them acquire more licenses of Satomo Nihei's works. Of course, Blom is his big and most popular series, and I want to see more from that as well. But I also want to see more from other series like Biomega, Knights of Sidonia. All of his works really lend themselves well. They're extremely detailed and intricate, and that is kind of what Figurama's MO is as well. So I think they make a really good team together. When it comes to Satomo Nihei's works, there's just so much statue potential there, and I really hope we see more from Figurama. Those are the moments that I want to see statues of the most from Figurama for licenses they have already obtained. Up next, I want to talk about the ones that they currently don't have licenses for that I'm really wanting to see statues of from Figurama in the future. here. So up first is one that I think Figurama would really do a great job at, and it is Gaunt's. Prime One Studio have already released statues from Gaunt's. They're more of the museum pose type, and there's nothing wrong with that because they are still incredibly detailed and they look great. However, I would really love Figurama to do some more dynamic pieces from the series. There are so many different scenes that Figurama could pull from for this one. There are crazy aliens within this series with crazy designs, and I think that Figurama would have a fun time with. On top of all that, I think Figurama would really do the style of Gaunt's justice. I have yet to see a studio fully capture the essence of Gaunt's, and Gaunt's is really bloody, and I really want to see someone bring that to life. The next license I'd love to see Figurama attain is Chainsaw Man, which is getting an anime adaptation at a to-be-determined date. So I've caught up on all of the chapters that have released from Chainsaw Man. It is one of my favorite new series, and it's actually probably one of my favorite manga to release. Probably within the last 10 years, guys. I think this one is going to be incredible in anime form. I can't wait to hear Denji's chainsaws rev up for the first time. I think that's going to be absolutely awesome to hear. There's a lot of bloody moments from this series that I want to see made. And if you can't tell, guys, I love blood and gore. So if you like that stuff, you're going to see a lot of that on this channel. I don't need anything particularly crazy for this one. I really just want to see one of Denji in his hybrid form doing what he does best, tearing through some devils. And I would also love to see a little Pachita somewhere on the statue if this were to get made. You know, his best friend, you can't have him without Pachita, and that would be an awesome little addition as well. And up next is a series I absolutely love. It's one that I've read the manga and I've watched the anime. It is the breakout star of last year. It is Jujutsu Kaisen. I really do believe this is the next greatest shonen, and I know that gets said a lot, but I really think it is. It has amazing characters, amazing development, an amazing storyline. I mean, pretty much everything is amazing about it. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you do so. The first statue I would love to see Figurama do from Jujutsu Kaisen is Panda versus Mechamaru. Now, Mechamaru and Panda are unlike any characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. They're very unique, and because of that, I would really love to see Figurama do this statue. This is an extremely dynamic scene that has a lot of incredible detail. They're on top of rooftops, there's explosions happening, and I really think it would look incredible. Another one I think Figurama would do really well is that scene that shows Yuji and Todo battling it out against Hanami. Now, this one would be difficult to pull off because there's not only 2 characters, but 3 involved, but I think if anyone can do it, it's Figurama. Not only that, but I think they do the sculpting and the painting of Hanami in particular really well, with all those roots and those flowers he controls. I think they bring those to life. I can't wait to own Jujutsu Kaisen statues. I am going to go crazy when ones I want come out. I just haven't seen anything I want yet, but I'm really hoping that Figurama obtains this license sometime soon. The next one I would love to see Figurama obtain is a license of Vinland Saga. In particular, I really think they do the detailing on their outfits and just the overall style of this era really well. And because there's some weaponry involved, this is one I would love to see from Figurama. Thorfin is a scrappy guy, and he is always in these crazy poses. He kind of defies gravity when he fights, and I really feel that they would do him justice and put him in one of the most dynamic poses. There's so much potential here for Figurama, so many moments they could make, and I really think they could tap into a lot here. And the last one I'd love to see them obtain a license for is Bungou Stray Dogs. Can someone please make Bungou Stray Dogs statues? It's an amazing series. All of the abilities lend themselves really well. There's a lot of cool character designs, and I just want to see some made. I don't think I've seen one made yet. If you have, let me know in the comments below. Bungou has a lot of figures, but it's still underrated in the statue department. And I would really love to see that change, and the studio I would love to change that is Figurama. So there are a lot of abilities and fights within this series that would make for great statues. I would really love to see one of Octagawa versus Atsushi. In addition, I'd love to see one of Chuya in his corruption form. You know, there's also Dazai involved in that fight against Lovecraft. That would be something that would be really cool to see. But in particular, I really want to see Chuya in that corruption form. Bungou Stray Dogs is an amazing series, and I'd love to see Figurama give it the statue treatment. On a final note, there's a very specific statue from the Elite Solo line I'm looking for. It would be a psychopath statue of Kogami. I would love to see his Dominator in full effect and standing there, you know, kind of with it pointing outwards like we see him in the anime. And I would love for them to put some crazy LEDs within that Dominator. I think that'd look really cool and it would really stand out. And there you have it, guys. Those are all of the statues I'm really hoping to see from Figurama in the near future. I mentioned some they already have licenses for, but I'd really love to see them expand that license list into the others I mentioned within this video. Let me know what you guys are hoping Figurama releases in the future below, and if you enjoy this video, please give it a like because it really does help support the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.